Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Big Brothers of Destruction podcast. And this is an actual pod day with your boy. Well, no, I took his spot. I'm so sorry. I'm fucking up already. It's the Masaku.
We, we've been over this. It's your boy Swag Switcher. It's the Maz Swag Switcher in the building, you guys. Goddamn.
That's what happens with your brothers, man. Sometimes you take little things from your brothers, you know what I'm saying? You take certain the style, the vernacular. It happens. That's what happens with brothers. But anyway, all right. So welcome back to the podcast. I mean, last time we were here, we were going over specific questions that kind of go into our wrestling origin, some of our favorite wrestlers, our Mount Rushmores, and things of that nature. And we're going to continue on that same trend today. But before we get into that, man, the crazy world of wrestling this week, we got to talk about it, man. Some insane stuff that happened on Monday night. We already talked about that in the review, okay? But the crazy things going on in AEW, SmackDown, and Collision. Let's take a moment and talk about that. Swag Switcher, what you got for me? What you see in the crazy world of wrestling this week?
So honestly, when it comes to everything that's going on, and to talk about AEW is getting ready for a pay-per-view that is going to be happening. Considering the time that we're recording this, it's happening today, aka Sunday. So, but it's like they've they have only sparked my interest in this pay-per-view, and that's a problem for me. Like some of the stuff going on, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of feeling it, but it's like they're not making me extremely excited. Now, I will say AEW Dynamite, they weren't bad. Like, but the format of the show was weird to me. Like, I feel like it's almost as if they was like, hey, put all the good stuff in the beginning of the show, and we're just gonna take a dump on the ending piece of the show. It was weird because like we start off with Swerve and what's her name? Goddamn.
Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, so Swerve and Willow going up against Mox and I forget
Maria
the other girls.
Maria Sophie. Excuse me.
Yeah, so that's how we started off, okay? Which that whole bit, I liked it. Like I would say, all the bits with Swerve throughout that show, fire. Like we start off with that, freaking. Then Swerve is all like, after he put the freaking paradigm shift on old girl, he's like, "Nah, you crossed it, bro. Now I'm gonna have to hunt you down. I'm gonna have to beat your ass." And so Swerve is, although I wish they would have did more of like Swerve actually going around trying to find Moxley, because it was just they just showed, hey, I'm gonna find you, Mox, and it's gonna be on site. And the next time you see Swerve, it's him finally getting to Moxley and it being on site
And at the
type
end of the
deal.
show.
Yeah, it was at the end of the show. Like I wish there would have been like, well, they did have one. Like I wish they would have did more, but they only had one spot where you see Swerve walking through, but then he crosses paths with his mortal enemy.
Which I woke I fell asleep during the main event match because Cope versus um I was about to say
Yeah,
Callisto. Excuse me.
yeah. That's how
Castanoli.
boring and garbage it
Castanoli.
was. It's fine.
Castanoli. Claudio Castanoli. I was watching that and I remember I passed out mid match, and then I woke up as I saw Swerve walking backstage looking for Mox, and then they had that interaction, which I was like, oh, I woke up just in time.
Yeah, because everything else, it was fine to have missed that because everything else was just like who cares kind of
Even
stuff,
the
you know.
Tony Storm match was not good. I was mad about
Man,
that.
that took me by surprise how and dry that was. I
Yeah,
that
it
was
was mad dry. I was mad pissed.
and so, but it's like and it's one of those things where it's like out of everything that's happening on there right now, the fact that they did not make the Tony Storm situation a bit more than than they could have. Like the only thing that was worth talking about was the stuff with Swerve.
Yeah,
Like
and
Even the stuff with our friendly neighborhood Billy Goat was like, who cares?
I ain't gonna lie though, that tag team match though, I will say I'm a bit of a fan of Blake Christian now. That guy was doing some good stuff.
I will say that that did spark my interest, and we didn't have another A Fox situation where I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of jobbers. It's cool. Like,
Yeah,
like
no.
we, but but out of that, that's really the only thing that was really
Not even
interesting for
not even
AEW.
the goon himself.
Oh, listen, well, that's the other thing though, because it's like, yes, it was nice that I saw him, but it was like, there's really, I don't know, like he's just there. They're just like, hey, we're just gonna put you in a match, but listen, I feel it like I feel as if he's like been slowly getting into this new character thing that he's doing, because it's like first it was like a jacket with the mask. Now he out there with the jacket and mask, got the gold tooth, which I didn't peep that before. And then this last time, bro, that drip, boy,
Oh,
he
you
came in there with
dream?
the fam. My man out here dreepy right now with this dope ass jacket, got the ski mask going. Like he had
And
his
the
freaking lock chain,
he got the John Cena lock chain.
bro. Listen,
He's like, I'm a
Brody.
heel too.
Listen, Brody, the Goon
Mhm.
King. He is here to stay, and I'm messing with it. And at this point, I'm almost at the point where I'm like, you know what? Even if y'all ain't really doing anything great with him, just keep putting him on the TV for me at this point, because
He made
I'll
me
take
want to get a
I'll take
grill.
you feel me. Listen, I wish he would come out there with with some gold bottoms. It's done. It'll be done.
I've already been this close multiple times. My wife is like, "Yo, no, don't get a grill, babe," and I'm like, the Black Force energy in me is calling. It needs the grill at some point. Not maybe the full. I thought about the full, but at least like the bottom with the
Yeah,
fangs. I do that.
I got some tops. I don't think I've ever had bottoms. I've always had tops, but it's like the mold for them are. I have to like redo the mold so that
Yeah,
it'll actually fit. But
to
but
get the to
going
get the.
from
Oh, go in it. Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, but going from that relatively C show on Dynamite, Collision.
So they moved
Fam,
Collision's day because normally Collision comes on Saturdays. Oh
it
yeah,
was on
today's
Saturday,
Sunday. Ah, I'm sorry. Brain, not braining. Brain,
but
not
like
braining.
Collision. Let me put it this way: I had Collision on, and I was watching it while doing clothes, and I found myself paying more attention to the clothes than I was Collision. Like Collision was boring to me. It was really boring. And like it was boring, and it was like it almost Collision felt like Sunday Night Heat before a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, it did. For me, okay, for me. And we
Which is
already
zero
know,
hour for the pay per view though, which is crazy.
listen, like because nothing really happened that was like noteworthy, like it was. And once again, I try really hard not to sound like a full-on AEW hater. And maybe it's just because I'm just used to a certain way of ingesting my wrestling that's just not making AEW do it for me. But it's just like it's like I feel as if with the way things are, like I need to like find somebody that can also be in this podcast with us, that is like a AEW elitist, like someone who is all elite in AEW, to be able to like counterbalance this. But the problem is, I don't know any.
Not even anybody from our group chat.
No, there used to be some when AEW first started. My boy Modest Mine, and then I know our boy Antonio was originally down with AEW. Like they were both, but it was well said. I know Antonio was more like AEW was a good thing, and he was really boosting the ideas that they originally stood for. But over time, he does not care about AEW anymore. I know Modest Mind, he messes with AEW still to a certain degree, but he does not sing the song of praises of AEW like he used to.
Yeah,
Now,
the
I know our boy LX, he likes AEW. However, he also understands and he sees the glaring problems. He just does not, he tries hard not to hate on them, as where I just let it out.
nah, I
And
believe
frustration,
I get it. No,
not
I get
because
it.
I want
I get it because
so.
I was one of those big AEW like preaching the gospels and all that kind of stuff. But as time has grown, like it's just certain people that's like you should have pushed them already. You should have did this, should have did that. As Luke and Adam say on Wrestle Talk, it should have been Penta. It always should be Penta. And I'm just saying, bro, when he was in AEW, it should have been him. But in WWE now, you know, obviously he'll get the Intercontinental title at some point. I'm happy about that. I don't. And then I definitely want to talk about Ray Phoenix's debut in a bit. God damn. When it comes to just everything AEW, man, it was once a area where there was so many great things happening. You had a lot of freedoms, and those freedoms are now taken away. It's not the way it used to be, and the product is not what it used to be. It's pretty much just the B product. And
I
the sad
dare to say, oh, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I was gonna say it was the B product, and I dare say now it might be the C product to TNA. Because TNA is becoming the B product right now. That's just that's just from that's just from what I'm hearing in the grapevine. People are not really enjoying AEW like they used to, and TNA apparently is red hot right now. TNA is just booming.
Yeah, we love ourselves some TNA, which is good. Um, yeah, no, the thing I was about to ask, I was like, do you, because I know you said, the thing about Penta. I was like, do you think if they would have used Penta to help put it more on the map, something different might have come of it?
Not fully. I don't think he would be the backbone of AEW, like how, obviously in Lucha Underground, he was completely the backbone once he got that belt. Like, boom. But I feel like more eyes would enjoy the product, mainly because Penta, a lot of fans of wrestling do like authentic and cool characters. There's no way you can't look at Penta and say, that's a cool fucking character. I want to see what he does, right? So I feel like it would have got more eyes on the product. Now, him being a great champion, I'm not saying he'd be a great champion, but he would be something that would get people kind of locked in and engaged. Because anytime he's ever in the ring, anytime he ever does this, the audience is with it. So he's automatically over no matter where he goes because he just looks fucking cool. Put the belt on somebody that looks fucking cool or gets people engaged. That's kind of always been a thing I thought, but some people nowadays feel like don't put the belt on somebody um that's already over because the belt it normally you're doing it to elevate the belt, not the person. The person's already hyped, the person's already everything. We don't need to.
Yeah, I feel as if that some people's views on like how the belts work and do things, I feel is has kind of sort of been lost to translation. But going to one of the things that you did slightly mention when it comes to AEW and the way that they work, there's a part of me that feels as if the freedom that they started off with to a small bit might have been to their undoing.
It
But
was. It was,
but
unfortunately.
I know but I know you were because you did bring up about Penta's brother though. Because on SmackDown, you, you might want to try that again. It didn't come through too clean.
Animo!
That's better.
Okay. I did it high pitched last time.
Yeah, it was too high. it peaked a little bit, but it got the point across.
Yes, yes, yes.
But see, SmackDown, on the other hand, you know, once again, firing on all cylinders, and they're in SmackDown, it feels more organized. There's the stories right now, and their progression towards WrestleMania. I'm curious to know what's going on. Like thing with Kevin Owens, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Am I being worked? Is this a shoot? Is this
That's what I felt the
what's
whole
happening right
freaking
now?
time, bro.
Like,
I'm not
like,
lying.
I'm over here. I'm like, is he gonna Mark Henry us? No, no. So I'm just, well,
I thought the angle
what's
was he
going
was
on?
trying to run away from a fight from Randy Orton. So I was like, that sounds like a cowardly thing to do, and he doesn't want to deal with them. But then you find out, no, it's actually a serious injury. Like he's apparently been feeling this for the last 4 months. And I was like, oh, so this is real? Fuck. And so Orton not going to Mania? Fuck. We can,
I'm very, I'm at this point, but it's like, is he? Is he though? Like I don't know. They're doing the thing.
we never
That,
know.
as they say, suspended my belief. Now I'm just like, well, is KO actually going to be okay?
That part,
Is he
yes, I'm
actually?
worried about that.
Is he
Yeah.
actually? Is he actually hurt? There's a part of me that feels like, nah, man. KO's just doing this as a ruse. He's gonna fuck Randy.
Okay.
No pause. Fuck it.
So if that's the case, how do you think? Okay, if you think it's a ruse, you think it's a shoot, right? How do you think he performs it? Because like obviously Orton shouldn't be at Mania, so like then what should Orton be doing at Mania that would cost the match?
Fam, I don't even know. Like
Exactly.
but there's a part of me that feels that like he's feigning this. But then there was a part of me that feels like it might be fake, but then it's like the fact that Nick Aldis is also involved and he brought him out there and then like, and then if it is real, then damn, what is Randy Orton about to do? Because
Nothing.
that's a ain't no way. Ain't no way.
He might be
Randy
in
Orton
an
about
opening match. He might be in an opening match like a battle royale, some shit, and do a couple of RKO's.
that would be dumb.
But what else can he do? You
I
can't
don't know.
literally put him in a match with somebody
Listen,
with
I
no story immediately.
see that's the problem. I don't know, and unlike AEW, I want to watch SmackDown to find out what's gonna happen next.
You know what? Actually, they probably could do this because they were doing this at one point for a minute. But the thing about it is, he's now connected to another wrestler. So there was a point in time, I think Carmelo Hayes was kind of battling it a little bit with Orton. Like just they did a couple of matches together. So maybe there is a way you can kind of rekindle that feud, but it would put Carmelo in a high pedestal, and I could see Miz being his manager going down the ramp at Mania.
Maybe that is a
That's my
thought.
discount lariat right there. That is my discount lariat. If you're gonna put if you're going to put Orton in the show and put him against anybody, somebody we already know he has good chemistry with, he's had a couple of matches with, and I wouldn't say they're like red hot, but I feel like it could elevate him because after Mania, they've already talked about elevating Carmelo Hayes. What better way is putting him on fucking Mania against Orton?
I mean, there is that. I mean, at that point, we'll just have to see next week.
Yep.
But
To go home.
every everything else that's happening on Smack, like, because there was so much good on SmackDown. The whole deal with Naomi and Jade and stuff like that. That's getting better and better. And I'm now just ready for them to throw hands. I'm now the thing with Paul Heyman and CM Punk.
Okay.
So in the beginning, Punk was out there doing his thing, and or actually no, yeah, Punk was out there talking his stuff, but then Paul Heyman's all like, "Hey," he comes out, and he's like, "Hey, Punk, so what's you said last week that that wasn't a favor. What's the favor?" And Punk's like, "I'll tell you, but I want to tell your tribal chief as well, right?" Okay, and so at the very end, and I believe it was you who sent me the video because someone else made that connection about them years ago when Paul Heyman was all like, "You're going to be in the main event, and I'm going to be there with you," and
Yeah.
da 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 da.
I even said it. I said the favor is him. I said watch the favor, and I felt like it was stupid at first. I said watch the fucking favor be him going down the ramp with him at Mania. But I was like, I don't think maybe they'll do that. I feel like it's something else. Like maybe, but I was like, at first I was like, okay, maybe it could be that. But then the second I was like, okay, maybe Roman gets the title. But I'm like, but then that would make sense. So it has to be he go down the ramp with him at Mania. I remember saying that. I don't think I said it on the pod, but I remember saying that to you.
Yes, you did, and then you even found that video that I think I reshared on our Facebook page
Mm-hmm.
about that. And then lo and behold, this is exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now the funny part to me is the fact that because I also saw something else. There was two other things I saw, but the first thing is that Seth Rollins was all like, "Hey yo, you do realize that this is going to bite you in the butt doing all of this. You should have let me take out Punk." And then this happens, and Seth Rollins are like, "What I tell you, buddy? Ooh, look what happened now. You got bit by the snake. You should have let me take it out, but now these are the actions of your repercussions and stuff. Like you, ooh." And so that happens, and I'm surprised because like he's like, "Tell him that that ain't going down." And he's like, "I'm sorry, my tribal chief, but I can't tell him that." And it's like, and then this fast forwards to something else that I think I also shared, where someone made the point that Cody Rhodes told Roman Reigns his future. Cody Rhodes, in a promo before he took the belt from him, said that you're going to lose your family. Everyone's going to betray you. Your wise man is going to become an advocate again. And you're going to be the tribal chief of nothing.
To even add
Which,
on to that, even to add on to that, there's even a promo when he was inducting Heyman in the Hall of Fame. He even said the day he's not with his white man, he's done. He even said
so
that.
and so now the sad reality is that our tribal chief, as Cody Rhodes said, Cody Rhodes has taken his belt, and when the belt left, his family deteriorated. J- Jimmy's dead. Jay is going through his Goku versus Frieza arc right now. Jay is
If he
about
don't
to
come
go
out with
Super
Saiyan
Saiyan.
gear, if he don't come out in Saiyan gear at Mania, I'm gonna be pissed.
And so it's like, and it's like, and Solo literally tried to take the title from him. And so it's like now all Roman has had at this point was his wise man left. That's all he has. And CM Punk is now taking that from him. And so
Technically
it's
for
like
one night.
now, well, we'll see. And so it's like, damn, that's gonna be rough. But it's one of those deals where it's like I kind of felt like you were was like, well, that's a stupid request.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was like at first, like that'd be a dumb request, but it makes sense.
It
You
makes
know?
sense, and like I'm not it doesn't like as at first I'm like, wow, that was kind of underwhelming. But as I kind of let it settle in, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that. I guess we could deal with that. But what was underwhelming for me
Woo!
was
Go ahead, speak on it.
Charlotte Flair's Charlotte Flair's
Annihilation.
unfortunate well, calm down now. She is still our queen, okay? but her
Annihilation.
unfortunate mishap while having that conversation with Tiffany. I
Okay.
will admit, Tiffany kind of took her through the ringer, and the crowd, which I've like, she's been doing that recently, where she's like been letting the crowd like get to her and shit, like where she's
Yeah.
trying to talk and she keeps pausing and stuttering and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, my queen, what is happening? What's going on? I thought we got these surgeries to get away with the to toss out the insecurities. Why are we stuttering? You've never stuttered before. What was my queen? Please, please.
Ric Flair, yeah, and I hate to say it, Ric Flair wouldn't took this.
Oh, listen, that number one, Ric Flair was always shooting from the hip. Okay, so it's like forgetting your lines. That shouldn't be a. Cause man, I mean, she was stuttering, and then she got to she was stuttering to the point where it was like she literally was all like, you know what, I'll let you finish. Go ahead, you can have the last word, type thing. I'm just like, what is happening? And boy, Tiffany was coming for next
Bruh, the whole you
straight
3 and
jugular,
0. The 3 and
straight
0 was
jugular
crazy.
family. My brother in Christ. and
The 3
then,
and go
and
ahead.
I feel like that like Charlotte, she like there was a part of it that feels like she panicked, like she was just trying to find something to say,
Like I gotta find
and
something just as harsh.
it was like, oh, well, yeah, well, your man's been in my DMs, and then like her man on the online was all like,
Oh, don't flatter yourself.
don't flatter yourself. I'm like, oh, God damn, baby girl.
Catastrophic. Like
I'm like,
shorty,
like Rick,
shorty, shorty,
not
shorty,
Rick
shorty.
Flair. Listen, Charlotte had me watching SmackDown. Like, damn, I can't show my face in the group chat. Fuck.
Nah, it would have been like, Ric Flair would have got that call, was like, what is it? What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't get the check, bro? The crowd was booing.
It,
So what?
like, there's a part of me is like, with the way that this has been going, like, and I don't even know if I'd even consider this a discus lariat, but like, Charlotte got to win now. Like,
Nah, bro, she can't win. She literally
bro,
can't.
you can't be out here freaking like by the hair bending over and just having your way with Charlotte Flair, Tiffany. You can't be doing that.
That's what she
Calm
did.
down.
Every promo has been, to me, sizzling. Hey, at 25, unfortunately, you were doing the thing in your dad's space. Okay. At 25, I'm going to Mania. Okay. Hey, also, if I win, I beat a legend. I have a lot that kind of runs with this. But also, if I lose, it's fucking Charlotte. Okay. But if you lose, it's over for you, basically, bro. Like, there's no way. She's cooked. And I don't
Listen,
think, I think if she wins, it's because creative is like, yo, we got to keep Charlotte. Otherwise, she's done so.
listen. I wouldn't say that.
Because if she loses, she's done.
Well, I mean, no, I will. No. You're right on that part. You are definitely right that like to a certain degree, I feel like if Charlotte takes this L, it's going to be hard for her to recover from. And so it's like,
She got to go
I don't
back to
know.
being the moonsault queen at Mania, doing that beautiful moonsault on Oscar and everybody else. Just that she got to go back to that, Charlotte.
But see, she can't even go back to that because that's Tiffany. Yeah, 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 exactly. Exactly. The prettiest
Oh,
Tiffany with the prettiest moonsault in the game. That's
oh.
like
Hold up now. Io Sky got her too, but yeah, I get what you mean though. Blonde, blue. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
she the sheep that not my words, hers.
I was saying, I knew what you meant though. I knew what you meant. But if we're being real, yeah,
I'm not
yep,
debating. But like,
Anyway,
yeah, that like overall, like it's one of those things. Like I watched out of both shows, and I know that's not what this is about, but I'm just like, man, God, I need AEW to give me some more to work with, please. But as we talked previously, AEW is about to be in their WrestleMania
season
of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect them to turn that shit up. And so that's why I'm letting everything slide until after tonight. And I feel that tonight is going to be a hell of a pay-per-view. It always is. And that's if I can hopefully number one,
That
if I
is
can
that
watch
is
it.
the thing. That is the thing about AEW. We're gonna move on to this. That is the thing that differentiates AEW from some promotions. While the weekly program can be okay, but their pay-per-views normally stand the fuck out. They are normally like real big shows, right? And compared
Always
to
for more better than worse.
yes, I will. We will say that. That's kind of what makes me. That's kind of what makes me sing the praises of AEW because, like, but like, watch this pay per view. It's fucking crazy. Compared to the
It's
show.
what keeps them in. It's what keeps
Yes.
it keeps them
Yes.
locked in. However, at the same time, they there's a certain proportion of it where I feel like it's like because their shows are they have to overcompensate on pay-per-views where granted as wrestling fans we're like all right we'll take it but like when you got 20 matches in a pay-per-view and all of them are doing main event shit it's like
I gotta breathe.
but I'm gonna keep it right there because once again I don't want to be carded as I drop my phone on the ground, but I don't want to be carded as an AEW hater. I'm trying hard not to be or look like that guy.
Well, what we can card you as is the guy with the questions, and I know that's what we're gonna get into today. Is continuing the conversation of just these questions that kind of give you an idea of our wrestling origins. And before we get into that question, I want to bring up the thing I talked about with Triple H in our side chat. How he felt like having a Mount Rushmore is kind of difficult, especially if you're talking about all time, like every era, every you know particular era of wrestling has a Mount Rushmore. And I think I want to make that as combination, a series of us giving the Mount Rushmore of every era of wrestling. Federation, Attitude, New Generation, Ruthless Aggression. No, excuse me, New Generation was Federation, Attitude, Ruthless Aggression. What was the era after that?
After Ruthless Aggression, the
Yeah,
PG era,
I could have sworn it was another one before that.
after after now when we was in Ruthless Aggression, at the end of Ruthless Aggression was when Super Cena had finally turned Super Cena,
Okay, yeah,
and so
PG era,
and that was the dawn of the PG era.
and then after that was the.
You could honestly say after the PG era came the COVID era.
That is
It
crazy.
was
That is crazy.
it,
No,
but
no, no, the Thunderdome era. That's what we want to say. That would be
all
better to
right, I'm
say.
sure we'll that
Thunderdome era,
I'll
and this will be the next flicks era.
I think that's fair.
That's what Triple H called it, the Netflix era. He called it that, so we'll call it
It's
that.
it I would say yeah, you can we'll go with that. Granted, the Netflix era starts earlier than when Netflix happened, but it
Yep, yep,
has
yep, yep.
led up to Netflix, so that works. I'll take it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up in the future, just all the eras in wrestling. So that way we can. So it's the Golden Era, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression, the PG, the Reality Era, and then currently we're in the Netflix one. Oh,
Gotcha.
the Invasion Era. Apparently, that's an era. And
That
then
was the invasion era. Yeah, that's like the when WWE won.
Yep.
which is that early 2000s situation, because that's when we bought WCW and we merged with ECW and all that good stuff. And so,
Oh, real quick, because I do want to do this for the pod in the future. I want to kind of create our intro for the show as a wrestling intro that we really like. So remember how the Raw's War intro? And the Brothaz sold the big I want to do something similar to that, but for the pod. So I want you to think about which one is your favorite like wrestling intro before the show start. And it's like before the actual intro comes out. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like how we have the then, now, forever intro.
mhm.
I want you to think of which one is your favorite one, so I
already
can do
know.
that for us. Which one is that?
That's the one. Move to the music player. The music
That was yours?
moving. Bro, that Raw intro, absolute slapper.
Okay, for Raw specifically, or this is just your favorite of all time?
So I can't say there's a favorite of all time, because that one is tied with the very first SmackDown intro, where it's the lyrics that we.
Oh my god!
Oh,
SmackDown is so tough. SmackDown is
did I
so
just
tough.
exactly, because then after that, the my time, it was my life, my time, my right, my hustle, sweat, my blood. Yeah, that one also is
But the
in there as
original,
well.
that one, that one's fire. And that's why it's tough, because it's literally just those two. It's literally those two.
Listen, those two, my time for SmackDown, yeah, my time, and then
The original.
I forget the name of it, but the original SmackDown. That is the original SmackDown is my favorite SmackDown intro.
Yeah,
and then my time is second place, and then for Raw is move to the music, and then honestly the Nickelback one. I really like that one too.
I only like
The
rock and roll is like fighting in the rain. You know, together to do our thing. We all rank. You know what I'm saying? You never heard those fucking lyrics, but that one was fire to me.
Yeah, you never heard them in the actual show. It was in the video games.
Yes. That's how I know it, but that's the same song though.
That's fair. I can, because that would probably be second place for me as far as like our intro, and then the Nickelback one would probably be like my third place.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all the intros. I think I'm gonna have to do that, because I'm surprised at the whoa, never give it up. Whoa, that one.
I tolerated it. Like it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't better. It wasn't bad, just wasn't bad.
But I will agree with the look at the jaws, no, my generation will take the fire. That one was fire though.
Bro. Especially because like I've been at the show when that was the one, so I've been to Raw when that was like, oh god, you just sitting there after the paper, after all the pyro. Move to the music play. Oh my god. Yeah.
I think my first show was the original Rocket Road. That was mine, so that's kind of probably why it was for me, maybe. But Raw is War, or what was the other one? I'm trying to remember the freaking lyrics. All air but the joy in your eye. That one I was talking about earlier. I can't remember the rest of the lyrics for it. That's all the thing you remember is the in your eye. Like
but that also was like the updated, because it was still the
it would play before, and then it was because they're two separate songs.
Oh, it's the last of a guy. It's all of me.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
those are
You're
two
right. You're
separate
right.
songs. Yeah.
They are. Damn. They are two separate. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So what they would do is that would be the intro to Raw, and then the
the rest would be
is
that was
the
the
complete
theme.
separate.
That was the theme for Raw. So
But
okay.
it's funny. We end up going to one of our what is our favorites without even doing it on purpose. So let's go ahead and go into these questions.
Okay. So where were we at? All right. So going straight to it for AEW. Who is your current favorite AEW boy and girl? Current favorite.
Girl, Tony Storm. Tony Storm
Okay.
immediately. Automatically say that. I currently enjoy the product that she is bringing to me every week. I'm just like, what's her next promo gonna be like, bro? What? And my wife hates like how she acts. She's just like, she's such a pompous, like she just does too much. Like she loves the era that she's in because that's her favorite era of like clothing, the aesthetic. That's her era. She loves that. If she could dress like that, she would. But she's just like, she's doing it too much. Like it's just too much. So I love it because I'm like, that's the point of the character. That's the point.
She's over the top extra.
Yes, that's the point of the character. I love it. Currently when it comes to guy, that one is tough because while at one point I want to say it's Swerve, but I'm really liking this Bobby Lashley we getting right now.
Oh, okay.
This Bobby Lashley we getting right now, I want him to get really big into the Hurt Syndicate and get him that freaking title. I want to see him every week bullying people.
You're right. I feel that though. I do think that this current version of Bobby Lashley is the most disgusting, most devastating, and like scared of him. Like he is super villain level.
I'm gonna show you a GIF. I'm gonna show you a GIF in the chat right now. This is the one we got. That's the one we got. We got him. Okay? And I'm terrified of him. Okay? Terrified. I'm getting a call right now.
That Bobby Lashley a bad man, and I'm 100% for it. And like because he's just legitimately scary. But it's like he's scary, but it's like the titles that he's holding aren't making him as scary as I know he needs to be and be portrayed. Because how you gonna look so big and bad and you just got some tag team titles, and especially with the way that the tag team titles are kind of shown in AEW right now. They're kind of
exactly.
And so, but I mean, it's a start. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting them cook on that.
Yes.
So that I feel that. So I know for me, it's actually a tie, and I think it's a tie to a certain degree, but it's definitely Swerve. However, I feel as if like I like Swerve, but I've always liked Swerve anywhere that he has gone. And so if I did not count the fact of me liking Swerve like that, homegrown Danny Garcia. Listen, I love me some Danny Garcia, bro. Like
he makes me think of Alex Wright back in the day.
Listen, and there. So when I started paying attention to Danny was when they first had him with the guy who now has only been doing the announcer stuff. And they was going through this whole situation where he just wanted to do the dance, and every time he would start doing the dance, his boy would be like, "Stop it! They're not going to take you seriously if you do this dance and stuff like that." And then it's like every once in a while he'd be in the match, he'd be all like, and he was like, "No, don't do it! Oh, please don't do it!" He's doing the dance. And I loved that. All the way down to now where he's at right now, and they got him looking like he is serious stuff right now. Even though like the TNT title that he's holding is being heavily not used as
You
it
mean
should, but
guarded? Guarded?
or not, no, not guarded. It's missing in action. But aside from that, though, my boy Dan Garcia. Now, when it came to the girls were hard.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely unpopular opinion, but originally, I like Britt Baker.
I did too. I did too. It was all about
Eh,
DM. I was all about that shit.
I
Oh,
say 100%.
she was the Charlotte
And
Flair of AEW to me. She was the queen.
100%.
She was the
I
fucking
thought
queen.
she was great. I and then and then I start looking at the group chats, and not just the group chat, but then I'm hearing other people, and I'm like, what did I miss? Where'd all this Britt Baker hate come from? The hell did she do? I thought she was great in the ring. I love her finishing move. And like, and even to this day, I'm actually still not extreme outside of the fact
She
that
so
apparently she cheated on our
Adam.
her baby. Like
Yeah.
outside of the whole, apparently she cheated on him and broke his heart. You know, like I I don't know. I don't understand the Britt Baker hate.
So apparently it was about something that happened between her and MJF. He was saying something about his girl, and MJF got in her face like, "Yo, you're not gonna talk about my girl like that." And it caused such an uproar backstage where he didn't put his hands on her, but he was just like fussing with her, like, "You're not gonna disrespect my girl." And
Which
she's also been known for sandbagging people or potatoing people.
mm, okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. Because I was about to say, because like, especially because you're in the group chat as well, so you know our group chat that we are a part of, they're not necessarily extremely high on MJF themselves. So I know the issue with MJF wouldn't have been. They're not. It is what it is.
That guy can got a goddamn promo. What the
Some would argue and say that he's just yelling, but listen, not my words.
did they not see when he went against CM Punk? Did they not see
Hey,
against any of those promos he just had? Oh my god, that's
hey,
crazy.
yo, take it up with the boys. Take it up
I'm
with
gonna
the
have to have a conversation with him because that's fucking insane, bro.
it. Listen, it is it, but like so. Though
That's also his
I like Britt
character.
Baker. It's one like I like Britt Baker. Aside from I guess the heat that she gets, I just don't talk about it a whole bunch because it's like it's a heat that I'm like, all right,
It's
don't look at
kind of
me
the
like
same
that.
thing with Blanchard. I don't know if you're familiar with Blanchard and
Yeah.
TNA. It's like her. She's a
Mm,
phenomenal wrestler. Made shitty comments. And
yeah,
because of that, she's done so.
for 100%. Listen, it's funny, like you know that whole thing where they be all like, "Ayo, so hear me out."
Yeah, it really with her, it's a hear me out. Like it's same thing with Velveteen Dream. It's like, hear me out. You know, that situation was fixed. That situation was apparently fixed. But it's like, hear me out.
Like
Can we give him another chance, please? Like, just let him cook again. We'll get great TV.
let him cook properly because recently he's the way he's been trying to cook, like he acting like he forgot how to use a spoon in the kitchen or something
Well, I
because
mean,
he's
you're not wrestling for years because of something like
well
that. You might lose some.
he's apparently been on the independent circuit, but it's like he's doing the thing that he was doing when he was Velveteen Dream, where it's like he'll like put the certain propaganda like on his gear type thing, or he'll wear something that would like to be getting the message across. But it's one of those deals where it's all like, sometimes silence is golden. Hey, why are you asleep over here? I'll deal with you in a minute.
It's like one
But
of those things where he's trying to. I know he's trying to get WWE's attention. He's trying to because he can't just hit
yes.
up Hunter and be like, "Hey, bring me back." Like enough people have to want to see him back and give him a second chance. I don't know if WWE will even give him a second chance, unfortunately, because of the situation at hand. But
See, I don't even think it's the fact that they wouldn't give him a second chance. I don't think it's just the fact that the ways that he's been going about trying to call for a second chance, you're no one's gonna look at you that way.
okay,
So
that
you
makes sense. That makes sense.
But aside from Britt Baker, I do believe my other pick, as far as like a girl who I really like, but she's once again not doing anything currently, is the virtuosa Dana Perazzo. I love her. She's great. And when she was doing things, I was locked into it. But she's been a little quiet recently, which is fair
Um,
enough because
who is that?
you know Miss Virtuosa. So the way I was about to describe her, like describes a decent amount of them. I'm trying to think what was the because I've also have
How do
not
you
been
spell her
watching
name?
Virtuosa, Virtuosa. She was doing some real big stuff with the TNT women's title for a bit. And so that was kind of like her last really big hoorah that she kind of had going on.
Maybe I'm not
Uh,
maybe I'm not putting it in. It's V. You said VIR.
Virtuosa. Now I
Oh,
also
okay.
could
I
just
forgot the
be
A.
I was about to say now I also could just be really bad at spelling because I am.
There's a person. Okay, so it's. And I'm gonna probably butcher this right. It's Diona.
Yeah, Perazu.
Yeah, Diona Prazo. Okay, okay, okay. I don't think I remember seeing her product before.
Because
Oh,
she's
okay.
been off TV a little
No,
bit. She
no,
hasn't
no.
been on TV.
I know her. I know her now. I know her. I know her. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay. It took
And
me a couple of.
she had a thing with Tony Storm for a bit too, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
what
yeah,
really kind of put her on the map for me when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was really looking at her. And so
Sorry, that I
but
drew a blank right there.
it's okay. There's a lot of people in AEW and it makes sense.
Anyway,
So
so guy and girl
so
swerve.
same question.
Okay.
Yeah, so you said yours is Swerve.
No, I said Bobby Lashley and Tony
Oh, that's
Storm.
right. Because mine was Swerve. Bobby Lashley, Tony Storm, Swerve / Danny, and Britt Baker and Virtuosa. Okay.
Yeah.
And so same question. But WWE now. Current.
I I really want Carmelo to do something really good, dude. Like I have so much hope for this guy. He's currently like anytime I've seen him in it, and I didn't even watch NXT, but I watched it for him. Because not saying that he was him, but it was just like he is a character that I feel like finally, as we don't get a lot of black representation in as heavyweight champions, he is the first one. Whereas he has all the swagger, all that we normally incorporate in our culture, as a person who would one day hold that heavyweight title. I have so much hope for Carmelo because I don't feel like it's going to be Trick. I don't think Trick when he makes the main roster like that aura that stuff is going to kind of connect because it's going to be a different audience. Triple H is probably not going to want it as well. So I still feel
See,
like it's Carmelo.
no, I agree with that. Because if Trick would have came up with Carmelo and they were still friends, it would have been fine. Right now, Trick on his own, it's better, but it still got work. That's why he's still there,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, or at least from my vision, kind of thing.
And he also got Cap in his raps because his raps
Oh,
was
that's
trash.
wow. All right. Okay.
Those two,
Understood.
those two songs to me were cheeks. Okay, Ethan Payne's song was fire.
I, I got no comment on that one. I don't got no
Bro,
comment on either or.
bro,
They
bro.
are what they are, and they serve their purpose for the purpose that was made. But
But anyway,
so
but
Carmelo,
Carmelo is currently because I remember I watched him at a live show and I'm just like, man, I see he's going against Idolo and he's probably not gonna win it, but I just want Carmelo to just finally just start cooking, just start cooking with Melo. He has so much damn potential in that damn ring. He can talk, he has to look. Just put the fucking strap on him, the rocket on him, and just boom. Just let him go. Like, let him go. That's just me.
I feel Carmelo's gonna have his time after WrestleMania.
I feel like it too. Maybe with the Intercontinental title first. Maybe.
I don't even
But
know what title. I mean, granted, last SmackDown they were teasing him teaming up with The Miz, so and them being an actual tag team and all that. So
But so again, while I say Carmelo Hayes, that was before. That was before. But now it's Sano Mia. Like it's Penta. What you fucking thought this shit was, bro? You think this is gonna leave my guy like that? Fucking in this bitch. There's no way I'm leaving my guy like that. And you know what I find it really good is that you keep watching for Ray Phoenix. You might be like, next week, you might be that way. You might be Lucha Bros. It might be Lucha Bros versus the Big Brothers of Destruction. Let's get it happening. Let's get it popping. I might even make merch of that shit. Like, you know, me in the gear, and then you. I'm just saying, that's how big of a fan I'm. I'll rock his gear immediately.
listen, you do have the mask, so it is. I mean, I
got plenty.
I'm not going to deny them, and I'm not going to deny you of that. That I almost feel a little cheated that was the answer, but I also it is
like I said, I still have Carmelo there, but because he's here now, like I kind of got to.
That's fair.
All right, now female,
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton.
Oh,
Tiffany. There's
really?
something about Tiffany, man. Like she has diva aura, but she wrestles just like Bailey and everybody else, man. She gets in the damn ring. She's beautiful. Right. She has the whole diva aura. The thing that Vince has been wanting for years, another Trish Stratus. And and then you already got the Tiffany Trish Stratus tag team match. Now I'm not saying Tiffany Stratton is Trish Stratus. Give her time to cook. Maybe. Okay? She's definitely not no Charlotte Flair, not after this week. But if she would be anybody of that caliber and star power, it will be a Trish. I feel that.
I see it. I can see her doing that. She can get there. Tiffany, absolutely, she can get there. Especially consider the fact that, like, unlike Trish started out as eye candy and she learned how to wrestle. Tiffany came in here knowing how to wrestle, and she's eye candy.
Man, to the point where it's just like, look, man, look. I kind of have to watch myself when I'm watching the matches because it's just like Tiffy, just one wrong move, bro. One wrong move. It's on the. I remember Jim Cornette or somebody was saying that her gear is just too much. They're like, yo, this is too seductive, and I'm like, okay.
So that statement, not to go off, but that statement to me is crazy. Like, because this was something I did want to bring up at one point. Have you seen the clip of Mickie James talking to the girl about like, hey, listen, this ain't the Divas era no more. Cover your cheeks. I'm just like,
but she has a good reason though, because
she was a part of that era.
To make
that not, it's like, yeah, we fought hard to not have to do that anymore and blah blah blah. And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, you guys fought hard so that you don't have to do that anymore. Does not mean that it should be bad to not do it.
If you got the assets and you're doing it properly and you're not doing overboard, why not?
Yeah, and granted, I have no stock in the game because I'm a boy, I'm a man, and of course I'm gonna be the guy. Of course, a guy's gonna say, "Of course, you want to see that," blah 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 blah. But at the same time, I'm like, as to advocate for the ladies and whatnot, you know, we have ladies who are out here who do their thing and are making whatever they want and empowering themselves and doing what they do in all these different genres. You know, OnlyFans is a really big deal, and you
You gotta
know,
say
and
OF.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't say that. I actually gotta edit that out. You can't say it on YouTube. You can't say you gotta say
Really?
OF. Yeah. You gotta say OF. Yeah. It's
Sorry.
like how you
Didn't
can't say
know.
the P word, you gotta say corn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess
Yeah.
I need. Damn, I guess I need one of them WWE lists of things that you can say and not say.
Yeah.
Don't call it. Don't
I
call it a
might be
belt. It's a
wrong. I might
title.
be wrong. I might be wrong because I do have there is, if you go on YouTube, people like how to do stuff for that site, but I don't think they can actually say the word. I think you only could just have the logo and you could just say OF. But I'll check on that. But for the time
Okay.
being, just for the protector's sake, we just gonna say OF.
OF. But it's like, but like they, with OF and all this other stuff going on and stuff like that. And it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, it's been so normalized nowadays where I feel like, so what? And especially because, like, at this point, yeah, so what if she goes out and the cheeks are hanging out, kind of thing? They say it's a distraction, but if you're a good enough wrestler, who cares about the cheeks? The wrestling will speak for itself at the end of the day. The cheeks just makes you look at it a little closer sometimes, kind of thing. Like back then, when we just had the divas, they were all look and no fight. They were out there cat
We
fighting
have
and
bra and
chicken
panties
scratching.
matches.
Listen, which there was a hot take that I had thought of, and I'm talking like it's definitely boiler room level hot take, and I would just drop it, and I'm not even going to talk about it, but I'm like, I think, I think bringing back bra and panties matches in a proper way, I don't think there'd be a problem with that. I'm gonna just drop it and I'm gonna move on. I said what I said.
Okay.
I think I think a bra and panties match can be used in today's time frame in a
Maybe
match.
like a manager standpoint, but like two individuals wrestling, pulling off their clothes, maybe not. Maybe if it was like a an Iron Man match, right? And for or every fall, I feel like this will hype the crowd because you're like, how many falls are they gonna do? And so she's like, so that would kind of be like, oh, but obviously they're not really gonna make them butt naked, so they'll be like, all right, so you got 3 lines of clothing, we'll do 3 falls, and then we'll teeter on the
I
fourth one.
I have a logic behind the hot take, but I feel that a Braun Payne's match could be tastefully done today. But
Well,
I'll
let's say
bring
that
that
for the
up as
next pod.
a
Let's say
topic.
that for the next pod.
I'll bring that as a topic for another time.
Okay,
But
okay,
that's a
okay.
nice little boiler room hot take to throw in there.
All right.
But so so Tiffany and Penta.
Yep. Tiffany and
Gotcha.
Penta.
I mean, the basic bitch in me is going to tell you my current favorites are Cody Rhodes and Charlotte Flair,
You
which is true.
basically picked the fucking
Yeah, I know what
ball,
I said.
like the
I said
capital
what I said.
America.
I said what I said.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes and Charlotte Flair. That being stated, my underlining is Brunson Reed and Bianca Belair.
I'm gonna give you a scenario real quick. You chose Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Jacqueline.
A nice comparison. And yes, Grant, I've never liked Jacqueline like that, but I
Okay,
was a big
Jazz.
fan. I'll be honest, I actually never really liked jazz like that either. But that was also because, as a young kid, jazz just wasn't that attractive to me.
We're not
So
gonna talk about Alicia Fox because the damn show ain't gonna be her. But anyway,
Well, she does not compare in the realm for Bianca. I'll say that
I'm just talking
straight
about
up.
it. The black female wrestlers.
Don't nah. Bianca, just put some more respect on that
Oh,
name,
Bianca's
please.
amazing. Yeah, I'm just saying, if we were talking about like the eras, like if you boom, 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 like Jacqueline was a great wrestler. Jazz was a
Mhm.
great wrestler. And if I was going to compare
Alicia,
like with the wrestler wise, that's why I was doing that. But yeah,
fair enough. Alicia Fox was a crazy girl, man. Hell no. Hell no.
we gonna say that for another one. But Cody Rhodes, Charlotte Flair. All right, those are your current two. Okay.
Yes, honorable mentions to Brunson Reed and Bianca Belair. But I feel as if I have talked up Bianca enough for y'all to probably understand.
That is my goal to get
Now,
looking like Bronson Reed, though. I ain't gonna lie. That's my goal.
listen, I love me some Tsunami. I hope he can comes back soon because I know he got injured in the thing, the
Yes,
whatchamacallit.
the match between him and Braun.
No. He got
Oh, War
injured.
Games, War Games.
War games.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah. But and I think so with this question, I think we slightly touched on it a little bit, but just to clarify, earliest wrestling memory.
I like the first one.
Yes, like when you try to think back, what is like the earliest wrestling memory that you have?
The first wrestling memory
Because
I can think of was I was hanging out with a friend named Keith in the early 90s. And he was my introduction to wrestling. I guess I would say in a sense of like making it cool because he was all about wrestling. He's wrestling everything. When I go to his house, he got wrestling toys, wrestling games. He was us ahead of time. And I remember my
gotcha.
first time seeing it was The Rock coming into the ring and he rock bottoms the Undertaker. And I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on? He was like, all right, cool. And so he had to break down the characters for me. And I was like, this is interesting. I get I'll peep it more. And then after the show went off, he made me play a game with him. He made me play a wrestling game. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was not No Mercy. No, it was way before that. What was I think the game at the time would have probably been like Attitude.
It could have been Warzone because Warzone was the first one.
You're right. It was Warzone. It was Warzone. Yeah. Play Warzone and then Attitudes after that. That's we were kind of friends at that point when Attitudes out. So but yeah, that was my first memory was rock bottoming Undertaker.
Nice, nice. And I know I touched on it in the very first episode that we did, which I know I've always had memory of Bret Hart because, like I've said before, when it comes to wrestling, I came out the womb watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been in the house. It was always on. When Monday nights was the only night I was allowed to stay up past 9 o'clock because I was allowed to watch wrestling at that point. And I know, so it's like my earliest, like, but the specific one that I can coin down, at least as a pinpointer, because I still want to go back and see if I can find out what is my true earliest memory or if I can even find that. But it was my brother winning the Diesel cutout. Because I know I'd been watching wrestling up until that point, but if I
So
could put like a
Federation.
stamp, yeah, if I can put a stamp on when I know I was definitely watching wrestling, was when Big Diesel was champion.
Actually, I think that's Golden Era. Federation is like Hulk. Golden Era is Shawn Michaels Diesel era. Yeah.
No. So the golden era is your Macho Man's and Hulk Hogan's and all that other stuff, right?
The new
And
generation.
so what you're talking about, yeah, Diesel and Bret, like when Diesel was champion and then when Bret Hart was champion,
The new
that's like
generation.
new generation. And
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
do believe, nope, because I think I actually don't remember the time framing because I think Bret Hart was well, because Bret Hart was champion off and on, kind of thing. And so, but during that new generation time frame was when Diesel did become champion at one point,
Mm-hmm.
which was also around the time when the worst business was being done in wrestling, apparently for WWE. But but that is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I card as my earliest. So after we've now talked about the wrestlers that were like number one across the board, who is a wrestler that you just can't fuck with right now?
Joe Henry. I don't get it. I don't. I want to say I don't fuck with him because he's doing his thing. I just the meme is the only thing to me that makes him relevant. Like his in ring ability, I don't really know it that well because I've seen a couple of his matches and I'm like, okay, nothing crazy, you know. Um,
Really?
I'm just not a fan of him. I wouldn't say I don't fuck with him. I'm just not a fan of him. I don't. I'm tired of the. All right, all of a sudden you say Joe Henry also say his name. I'm like, all right, man, look, bro. Like, I feel like that when it pops up, it's the equivalent of somebody like, you know how somebody tries to scare you when you got the hiccups, like that. It's like, God damn, bro, why are we doing this right now? Like, no, I'm good, and it's that bad. It's like almost the Rick roll of wrestling.
Damn. Wow. All right.
I'm just talking about like in an equivalent of when it pops up, like you'll do something on, like that's how it feels like to me. Not saying it's that bad, but it just feels like that to me.
Oh, I was like, oh, my boy just sent me a link. I'm wondering what this. Actually, now that you say that, now that I said that out loud, I used to do that shit to my brother.
Exactly. Okay, so you get that. So it's just like,
So
so it's like, oh man, you sent me a message. All of a sudden, say his name. Oh man, god damn it, bro. Like that's how it feels like on social media at one point.
that's fair. That part is fair. The other part is kind of damn, but that's fair. I get it. I mean, we all know what mine is because
I
we've
need to hear
talked
this
about
again.
it and we've talked about it in depth already. And it's John Moxley. I can't stand that motherfucker.
Okay, that's valid.
And I don't even have to go into it because I've already done so. It's been made very apparent why I just don't John Moxley, and he has yet to disappoint. So John Moxley for me, but Joe Henry. All right.
It's just, and it's funny. Both of them have a J in their first initial.
Well then, on the flip side, if you could pick a wrestler right now that you can push to the moon, strap a rocket on their back and just make them the guy, who would that be?
Carmelo Hayes. As much as I said Penta, like I want the belt
Penta
on
doesn't,
him.
Penta doesn't need it.
He
He's
does
going
it.
to do it anyway.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna do it. But like someone that I want to see doing great things is Carmelo, man. Watching Carmelo Hayes as a wrestler is like it's the equivalent of a homeboy that you like, man. You don't speak to him much, but you're like, hey man, did you hear about homeboy? He got into the NFL. He's doing good things. Man, that's so good to hear. That's good. That's what I
He,
want for Carmelo, bro.
and once again, I feel because the issue with Carmelo is that when he came up at a time where there was just no room. There has not been any room for him this whole year. However, I feel after WrestleMania, once we hit once we have this grand finale and then the new season of wrestling begins after WrestleMania, I feel that's going to be when Carmelo's going to get his. So you might
Okay.
be getting that. I think you might be getting that rocket sooner than later.
Okay.
I think I know for me, um, for me it's Brunson Reed right now.
I can agree.
Brunson Reed. And the thing was, until like he was, I think I feel as if he had the rocket on his back and then he got hurt
Ah,
because he was on an upward trajectory. They wouldn't give him the IC title, even though I wish they would have. But then when he joined the Bloodline, bam.
I know he's
When
not
he
one of them, but damn it, he felt perfect in it.
listen, he's what was it? I heard someone describe this. I think it was actually Antonio who said it, but he or no, someone else said it. I don't remember who, but I know recently we was talking about it. Listen, he is because he actually does have Samoan in his
He
blood.
does. He's just not part of that family.
He's just not part of that family.
Mm.
But it's like one of those things where he is a they adopted him from a different island and brought him over. Because man, when he was that surprise and him and Jacob Fatu was just beating, oh my, I was listen. Because like I said, Brunson Reed was already big news at that time. Like he had the rocket. You know what I'm saying? He was right there. And then when he joined the Bloodline, and when they first came out together, I'm like, oh, this. It actually almost didn't make sense why Roman Reigns was able to come out with a W. There was he shouldn't have, but plot. So it was like, but another person though that I want and really wish could get that rocket put on his back and he can just become exactly what I know he should be and could be. It's Keith Lee.
I feel like
I
his unfortunately I feel like his I won't say his time is up. I feel like what's the best way to put it without saying he's done? Because he's not done. He still got a lot left in the tank. He still got a lot left. It's just whereas he was limitless and doing a great thing in NXT, for him to come back in almost like the era of giants, he's literally going to be put in a similar situation where he's going to probably get up going against a Bronson Reed or Braun Strowman. Like he's not really going to be put into the main title picture, and I don't see that happening either. But continue on with
I
your I
no, because what you said is also kind of what I feel. Now, granted, because he was on AEW, right? Or
Mhm,
he's on AEW now.
mhm,
He's
mhm.
supposed to still be. And it's like I know from what I've come to learn that he actually was really, really sick recently. And so he's literally on the tail end of actually getting 100% better. And so, but he had like some crazy health problem that struck him. And so it's like, but I do feel that like the time for him to use that rocket, like if we strap a rocket to him now, he's only gonna go into orbit. He's not gonna hit moon, which hurts because he
Cause now
could have.
Swerve is where he is now, and he's just literally if he does it, Swerve is already he's in his astronaut suit, like, mm. And so if he just like it's like whoa 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 get your it's like they're gonna have to cross paths again.
Well, no, they definitely have to because
Mm-hmm.
they never finished that story.
Yeah,
I think, and before he left, I think he was working his way back to Swerve to get his just deserves, but like,
Swerve's not that same
uh,
person though.
he's not. However, it makes me think on some T'Challa and Killmonger type shit where he's gonna come back and Swerve's gonna be like, "Hey, yo, bro, listen, I'm not that me anymore." It's like, I don't care if you're that me because you're still him. Which would be great if they did. AEW, take it if you can. Make
Then
me watch.
that
Make
makes
me
Keith
watch.
Lee the heel because they're definitely aiming
Which
to
would
make Swerve the babyface right now.
which would be quite the shakeup, right?
It would be.
Um, a bad guy Keith Lee.
We actually haven't seen that in a while. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen him as a
I
heel.
don't. He's never been a heel. But the problem also is with Keith Lee is the fact he's a
He's a lovable baby face. He has that. He doesn't have a mean look on his
he
face.
he he is too proper and prim to be heel. But I could be wrong. Prove me wrong.
He was the, not saying that he's the equivalent of the same person. It was the equivalent of when they try to make Rikishi a heel after he been too cool forever, and you're like, he's a heel now, but he still be. I still remember him when he was shaking his ass and dancing and shit. And you telling me he's a bad man now? The leather outfits, the leather outfits he was wearing though, with the Rikishi, dude, shit was fire.
I mean, that old theme song. I'm a bad man. He's a bad man. Bad boss.
Pass some more steeds and crooks and more bad women. Thank God. Bad
dudes.
I make it all rule. Yeah, no, that was a fire track. That was fire track.
So I have two more questions here. And both of them are heavy ones to a certain degree. And I don't know what I think I'm going to do. I'm gonna save this last one, and
wait. So you only have two questions left?
Yes. So
I feel like we can knock them. I feel like we can knock them out. If it depending on how heavy they are, I feel like we can knock them out if it helps us. Unless you want to save it for the podcast and make an extension on it.
Well, we'll see. What I'll do, I'm gonna give them both to you, and I'll let you decide.
Okay.
So the ninth question is, what is it about wrestling that does it for you? What is it about wrestling that keeps you watching wrestling? And for all intents and purposes, the reason why we're having this conversation. That's one. Second one. You just finished wrestling school. What is your wrestling name? What's your gimmick?
Okay, I can see why that's a heavy one. So then the second one, the first one, I feel like, yeah, that could have set off just off the tip of the tongue. No problem. But I feel like I will also rant a little bit too. So I think that could also be another episode question. Those are some really, like, you guys take some deep thoughts. And honestly, I even want to encourage the audience, to the comment section for when it comes to that question. You guys can think about that. Again, the question was, what is it about wrestling that does it for you? Why are you still consuming it? Why are you still here? Matter of fact, it's honestly one of the reasons why you're here watching the podcast, because we talk about wrestling. So what about wrestling gets you going to the point that you even want to listen to guys like us talk about wrestling? All right. And the second one, you just finished wrestling school. What is your gimmick? What's the lore? All that stuff that basically makes you who you are. And matter of fact, I even had a bonus. What's your finisher?
See, I ain't try to start thinking that for myself. I mean, I have a couple, but
I feel like that. We're talking about you just getting out of school. You don't. I mean, we're not gonna think about theme songs because I feel like theme song that could be. I don't know how we can actually do that within an episode without doing like copyright stuff.
As far as like the theme, like your entrance music, because for all intents and purposes, someone can get one specifically made for them.
Yeah.
But the main thing would be is like,
your finisher.
Who are you? What's your name? What's your thing? What's your gimmick?
That's tough.
And then what's the finish? What is your finish?
That is tough for me because, man, I go by the Masaku, but like what before, oh man, I have to really sit down and think about that one. That one's tough.
Yeah. I know for people like us who have, we're avid players of the wrestling game, and we've sat down and literally just put together literally a full 100 people roster of all different kinds of characters, which to very small degrees are small extensions of ourselves. But then it's like, well, what is your wrestling character?
See, that's the thing. We also have our wrestling characters in those products too. But like knowing the wonderful world of wrestling compared to the wonderful world of what wrestling would be on a game, it can't match the same. Cause like and it's funny because like my character in my wrestling show is what your character would be in if you was actually a wrestler, a monster. That's literally what my character is a monster. But would I do that in wrestling? Probably not. I would kind of be the charismatic character, which is you in our wrestling promotions. So it's so crazy how you don't want to do talking. You want to go in the ring, choke slam somebody, do all the damage. That's literally what my character is. I come in, do the pedigree, I do the spear, boom. But the charismatic nature of your character and cutting promos and being that guy, that's what I would want to be.
So to that fault, like because I know what mine is going to be. Especially, I've even had a chance to like do it
Yeah.
before, which it was very well received when I went to a wrestling school that's local here, and we had like a segment where it was like, hey, cut a promo. So off the top of the dome, I cut a promo and I got an ovation. And so I was like, oh, okay. All right, so they do come up with this character. But at the same time, and this is only of recently, and I'm just gonna say this and we'll let it be. But it's like, I did not think that a person of like my height, my stature, even if I, hit the gym, start working out, I'm like, people like me can't be monsters. And then I started paying attention to Jacob Fatu. And he's now changed my whole mentality on monsters. Because y'all saw what Jacob Fatu did to I'm not even going to call him
SOB.
that. Our big SOB. You saw what he did to him. And it's funny because he did try to like, I am a monster. Jacob's a monster.
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't say monster on my man. He just said I was a monster because he knew he was not that guy no more. He knew it. He knew he was not that guy. Oh. Which also reminds me, quick side note, it was a post. It was like, yo, it was like, I think I sent it to you. It was like gifts, but like like sexual innuendos or something like that. Like, oh, like what's your reaction or like what you're doing compared to in the gifts. So one of the gifts was like Jay Uso on the ropes bouncing. So he was like getting Shorty from behind, like and then one of them was Bronson Reed coming up like after round 2. I'm not finished.
You might have to resend me that one. I might have missed it. I might have missed that one.
Some of these people had some crazy ones, bro. Them joints had me dying, dog. But I know it's got to be on my wall, but yeah. Anyway,
so we'll revisit those 2 questions next time, and we'll get our time to elaborate on them. And yeah, fam, there's a pay-per-view that's going to be happening for AEW that is tonight on when we're recording this. I'm going to be watching it, and the next time we meet, I will have my speech about whatever happens, I guess. But until then,
well, it depends on if something crazy happens. We do got to talk about it like as soon as possible.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be the same night, but we'll see.
We'll see. But
guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching another podcast episode with the Big Brothers of Destruction. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Share the video with someone that is also a wrestling fan, an avid wrestling fan, or even send them one of our shorts. We're getting ready to pop up some more shorts as well, just to kind of help out the channel as well too. But we definitely appreciate our audience currently. If you've been rocking with us so far, much love to you guys, especially as we're growing and becoming better of a channel. But for the time being, it's the Masaku.
It's yo Swag Switcher in the building. Cero Mero, all that good stuff. Oh! Listen, you gotta figure out how to do that without it like breaking it, because every time better. We'll see y'all.
I can't do a high pitch. All right, peace, guys. Have a good one.